Hey guys, how are you? Hope all is well. Thank you for joining me on our another one of our webinars, our first one of 2024, our email and SMS masterclass, our 2024 email and SMS masterclass, where we are going to learn the 9 and 10 figure strategies of the top brands in just about 60 minutes. That's going to be our goal, right? 60 minutes diving into the strategies of the top brands and making sure that you guys have everything you need to run your email SMS program effectively, efficiently, and actually unlock the true revenue potential from every customer on your list. I'm just going to make sure we're totally set up here and ready to go. 1 second here. Do this here. I will push this live on. We're doing a beta test, see how it pushes out on Instagram. So I'm going to make sure we're good. And then we'll be set. 1 second here. Okay, I think we are set to go. And if not, we will do this on the next time. So let me zoom in, get this up. Okay. And I'll start sharing my slides right now, and let's jump right in. Okay, let's get moving here. So in the next 60 minutes, I'm going to reveal the 10-figure email and SMS strategy the top brands use to triple their revenues right now, right? That's what they're using this day and age. It's a 10-figure email strategy. It's the ones that they have focused on that go beyond sending emails. If you're a brand and you are sending a lot of emails, well, this is the strategy for you because this will allow you to connect with the person behind the inbox. I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that. You'll leave here knowing 3 main things, right? Number 1, how to triple sales with my 4-step 10-figure email and SMS strategy. Number 2, how to turn your one-time buyers into lifetime buyers profitably while also cutting email costs. That's another major win, right? If you're sending emails and you're trying to be profitable, it's not just about driving revenue. It's also how to cut your costs, right? So what you'll see is that this strategy will not only allow you to send better emails, but also send fewer emails, reducing your ESP costs, reducing your footprint in the inbox. Really important. And then finally, step number 3, you'll leave here knowing how to get more time back by automating and multiplying this strategy 24/7, 365. That's the beauty of it. So you'll make money, you'll save money, and you'll get your time back. So that's a triple threat right there. You may have already seen my 10-figure email SMS strategy where you can learn it using my book. You have my 330-page book right here. There you go. 330-page playbook. I wrote the book on it. And you'll also learn how to implement it with my Mach 10 email masterclass, our new masterclass at emailmasterclass.com. It's been a fantastic resource for brands out there that want to learn how to level up their program, how to implement the strategies I talk about in my book and on these webinars. The Mach 10 masterclass is a great resource for you to implement right away. If you stay to the end and you're a qualified e-commerce brand, really important to say that if you're a qualified e-commerce brand and you stay to the end, we are going to be giving away a ton of value for you to start implementing right away to help you win 2024. Okay, that's the beauty of all the content we've created throughout the years. Our masterclass, my book, my lookbook, top 10 automations, e-commerce growth guide, all this content here to help you level the playing field with the top brands. And if you are a top brand already, well, this will help you level up even further because, again, I've built the strategies out for the top brands, and now I'm going to give it all to you. So you got to be a qualified e-commerce brand to get this. And I'm also going to share a really important offer that is going to be super critical to your brand, which combines and is relevant for my 10-figure email plan and my 10-figure SMS plan. Okay, that's going to be great for you. You can already tell this will help move the needle for your business right away at the very start of 2024. So let's jump right in. A little bit about me, get that out of the way here. Okay, I was the VP of email SMS and CRM at the top brands, at the top 1%. I wrote the book on it, as I told you before. I did the masterclass on it. I sent over 1 billion emails annually, directly attributing $300 million in revenue. I've managed multi-million-dollar email lists. I was an award winner for best email performance at Blue Core Summit. I beat out some of the top brands out there for their email performance. So that was a great experience right here. My team and I helped kind of get us to that next level. I've been a guest speaker at different summits, eTail specifically, worked with hundreds of brands and e-commerce stores. And really my main call to action, as I always say to you guys, I've been on your side of the table. I know exactly the challenges you've been through. I was a VP. I had to deal with make sure we hit our revenue goals while also being profitable. We'll also make sure we didn't send too much, right? We'll also dealing with design and copy and all these different nuances. I've been on your side of the table. I know what you're going through, and I'm here to help you win no matter what. So that's a little bit about me. Now let's talk a little bit about why I created this strategy. What was the genesis of it? What prompted me to say there's got to be a better way, and this is the way, okay? So I'm going to give you an example, right? My 5+ team, my team of 5, was stuck in literally an email hamster wheel. Every day was a campaign mindset, day in, day out. Campaign this, campaign that, send this, send that, send this, send that. Every day was all about sending more emails. And eventually you just run out of time. So you get to this last minute spray and pray panic approach, which is a terrible place to be. You don't want to have an email program that just does spray and pray, right? You never want that. Revenue barely grew. It grew by like 10%, mainly by price increases, while my list grew stale and jaded and really just kind of turned off, right? So we're not talking like a small list of like a 10,000 member email list or even a 50,000 member email list. We're talking like like 2 million, 3 million, 5 million member email lists where revenue was kind of just getting by. And my ESP costs really skyrocketed and offset any gains I may have had. So I was sending a lot more emails just to keep the lights on for some of our brands when I was VP. And it just was not a very efficient way of running a program, right? It just was a waste of time. The epiphany happened when I realized that segmentation and personalization will make me money, will save me time, and reduce the churn and unsubs that we may be experiencing. So you can relate this to your email list right now. Am I experiencing any churn? Am I experiencing any reduction in money? Am I not growing fast enough, right? So you can maybe kind of connect with that a little bit. But my goal in order to make that happen was to connect with a customer behind the inbox, right? That was the most important part. And as a result of having that mindset and having that epiphany, I was able to grow a 9-figure brand from 47 million to 73 million in 8 months while sending 11% fewer emails and texts. I grew a 10-figure brand from 6 million to 20 million in literally about a year. Okay. And on average, our clients grow 300% in the first 90 days or so. That's just, they're growing really fast because of this strategy. Okay. And it works. As you can see here, if it works for the 9, 10-figure brands, it would work for the 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure brand. And that's why we have them on our roster. So that's a little bit about the strategy and what prompted me to create it. A little bit about HiFlyer Digital. Well, we exist to help brands build that better customer relationship, right? That's what we exist, right? That's our why. And we do that by segmenting, personalizing, and connecting with customers on a one-to-one level. That's the most important part. And the way to do that, the cheapest way to do that, the quickest way to do that is using email and SMS. So that's what we leverage. That's the most intimate form of communication. And we're on a mission to help the small yet scaling e-commerce brand like yours compete with the top brands, right? Get their strategy and compete with them. And when you do, you unlock profitable, predictable, and scalable and sustainable revenue from your customers 24/7, 365. So you never need to worry about your payroll. You never need to worry about where am I getting or being profitable. It's all happening from your list automatically. That's the beauty of this strategy. And that's the beauty of what we do. Okay. It's going to rethink everything you thought you knew about email and SMS, which is perfect. Perfect segue into the next slide. Okay. Now is the time to rethink email and SMS. And this is proven from myself. I've worked with 6-figure brands, 7, 9, 10-figure brands. I've been a VP, wrote the book on it. I've been a $1 billion email marketer, and I need you to rethink what you thought you knew about email and SMS. It's gonna be super important for you to kind of have that approach. So let's take a quick look about what you're doing versus the top brands are doing. Very big difference, right? Most brands send email and SMS when focusing on tactics, right? What great copy, what can we do with ChatGPT? How can we send better design? And they really take an approach of a batch and blast, brute force attack. Let's just send emails, get max volume, and then let that funnel kick in, which is not a good approach at all. Batch and blast should never be used. Maybe you're doing some segmentation here and there, but it's very basic entry level. Maybe you've done this kind of set it and forget it type of segmentation on Klaviyo or OmniSend, and you realize, maybe you realize there's a better way, or you just kind of like, you know what, that's all I need. Most brands are campaign reliant. They're only as good as their last campaign. They're always looking at the campaign calendar, obsessing over the copy creatives and saying the next campaign's got to be an amazing hit. Super excited for the next campaign, the next campaign. The fact that they're even making up campaigns, right? I'll tell you, you'll see a slide soon about a campaign that was totally made up. And that's what they do. A lot of brands are doing it this way. And that's an inefficient way of looking at it. Now, how does the top 1% do it? The top 1% does email and SMS by segmenting audiences granularly, personalizing on a one-to-one level, balancing campaign and automation revenue, putting the customer at the center of everything they do over creatives and copy, and scaling that strategy up on autopilot, right? Most important, you see the stats over here. Personalization is a high priority. Customers want the personalized. They want to say that they're treated like a person, not a number, not an email address, right? Yet only 15% of brands actually achieve that personalization. That's a major mismatch. Now, who's achieving that? The top guys, right? So I want to bring their strategies to you so you can also personalize to the customer behind the inbox. Really important for you to do that. Otherwise, you're treating email like a channel, and email gets unsubbed and SMS gets stopped, right? So you want to go beyond the channel and become important to your customer's life through personalization. It's super critical to get this right now, because if you fail, if you don't do it well, and you treat email like the channel it is, right, you'll lose 3 out of 4 customers after one purchase. Fact, right? You can see blue core at the very bottom, 73%, about 3 and 4 customers leave after one purchase. They're just stuck at one-time buyers, right? And you'll leave a ton of money on your list unrealized. They'll never go to 2-time or 3-time and on. That loses a lot of value. Your list is just as good as one purchase. That's not very profitable, right? And then you'll fall behind your biggest competition. You'll then consistently be stuck in that panic mode that I myself was stuck in when I was VP, constantly sending out the next campaign, the next campaign, the next campaign, stuck in panic mode and not really getting anywhere, just wasting a lot of time and energy and resources. Your customers will then unsubscribe and tune you out. But there's a better way, right? If you implement this strategy, you'll be able to triple your revenues in 90 days. Proven. I've seen it many times, right? 9-figure brands, 6-figure brands, tripling their email and SMS revenues with this strategy. You'll turn those one-time buyers into lifetime buyers. You'll start migrating them from 1 time to 2, then easily from 2 to 3. Remember, 80-20 rule, Pareto principle. Majority of your revenue comes from your best buyers. So you want to grow as many of them as you can. You'll break free from day-to-day campaigns, right? Those campaigns are just like you're obsessing over. You'll remove the new shiny object syndrome, where you're kind of always obsessing over the latest tactic that maybe will get you an extra lift, which is good to have, but it's just not a strategy, right? And then you'll finally unlock the true revenue on your list. That's why it's super critical to get it right now. At the beginning of the year, in 2024, start January 2024, perfect time to get started. I want to give a quick example of how this strategy changes the game, changes everything you thought you knew about email and SMS. And I'm really not going to talk about creatives and copy and tactics, which maybe you'll see in your inbox a lot. It goes way beyond that, right? Because we're talking strategy. Those are tactics. Strategy first, tactics always. You can always add a tactic. This brand right here, this is an 8-figure brand. 8-figure brand, they were making 6% of revenue from their email program. 6%, $107,000 in May to July 2022. 6%, their revenue was declining. Their website revenue was declining. They're just going down, right? Just down, 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 down. 41% decrease year over year. Only $107,000 for an 8-figure brand. Not good enough. And they also had just out-of-the-box automations, no SMS, a lot of room to, work with. We came in, implemented this strategy you're going to learn in a second. They are now experiencing 483% growth. Same time period in 2023, okay? Same time period. Nothing's changing, no seasonal changes, no Black Friday comparisons to, beginning of the year, no fake screenshots. It's all here. This strategy, same time period, helped them grow 483% year over year. They're now making $602,000 from their email program. They have better automations, and they're doing SMS, which is a totally incremental channel for them. and now they're at 45% of revenue, right? So what does that mean? 45% of revenue? That just means that it's more predictable, more profitable, really more reliable, right? You can rely on your customers more. That's the beauty of this strategy that you're going to learn in a second, okay? And it doesn't just work for 6-figure brands or 7-figure. It's 8-figure, 9-figure, 10-figure. It just works across the board. You just have to know how to implement it. So let's jump right in. Let's get straight to it. Let's dive into my 10-figure strategy for email and SMS. As I always say, again, I wrote the book on it. You can read about it in the book, and you can learn about it and implement it on my masterclass. And on this webinar, you're also going to learn about it. So it's really, you're going to hear about it in 3 different ways. Hopefully by now you'll internalize it, make it happen, right? Kind of implement and get it done. If not, here to help. So let's jump right in. Segmentation, personalization, automation, and multiplication. That's the 4 steps you need to perfect in order to run a 10-figure email and SMS strategy. 4 pillars of excellence, right? Segmentation, finding the right person. Personalization, sending them the right message. Automation is sending it at the right time in their buying cycle, not just the right time of day, but right time in their buying cycle. And then multiplication. How do you amplify it and multiply it up to repeat and scale? That's the most important part, right? Not just to get email to where it is, but how to scale to the next level. Those 4 pillars have to go together, okay? Right person, right message, right time, repeat. Right person, right message, right time, repeat. If you do that right, you will have a 10-figure email and SMS program. I wouldn't say overnight, but within months, okay? You'll grow by 300% within months. Right person, right message, right time, repeat. So you can excel in 1 or 2 pillars. And I'm going to show you some brands that really kind of get to one point, but didn't get to the next part. You can excel in 1 or 2 pillars, but you can't scale without all 4. Okay, I'll tell you exactly what I mean. So number 1, segmentation. I have seen a ton of brands and a ton of agencies do a pretty decent job on segmentation, right? You're finding the right person. But I'm going to show you in a second. That's where they fall down, is personalization. They send the same message to the whole segment, right? They send the same message to segments that don't need to see the same message, okay? So you need personalization. And then if you're doing segmentation and personalization, but you're stuck in the weeds on personalization, and personalization is hard, you're not automating it, your day is full with creatives and copy and design and personalization. It just like takes up your whole day. So you got to automate it too. That's the next pillar. And then automation needs to be multiplied even further for different channels, different goals, different products, right? So you can't scale your automations to the next level without multiplication. So you need all 4 pillars to really be excellent. This is the 10-figure strategy I'm teaching you right here. This isn't the 6-figure email strategy. This isn't the 5-figure email strategy. This is the 10-figure email strategy. And I really want you to take watch it and understand that you could get to this level no matter what size brand you are. Here's a great example, case study of what not to do. Okay, this is a great example of what not to do. Remember I told you before, this is a brand, this is an 8-figure beauty brand, 8-figure health, beauty, and wellness brand. Okay, we came in, they have the ABC as a skincare. This brand, look at all the segments there, all packed into one campaign. You have, just to zero in on 2 things, you have people who placed an order 0 times, and you have people who place an order 2 or more times, okay? Now, stop right there. You found some segments, you build out some segments, but the personalization isn't there. You're sending them the same message, but they're 2 different audiences. You need to send them a different message. If you're a 2-time buyer, you trust the brand enough already. You don't need to get the same message as someone who never bought before. That's not personalization. This is where you fall down. And you can see that this agency who's running it, and I know the agency, but hopefully they're doing better as they go through it. This agency was sending out the same email to different types of buyers, and that just falls down. This is why the click rate is non-existent. A 0.44% click rate is so close to 0% click rate that it's just not worth it. So this is an example of segmentation being there, but no personalization. That's a fail, right? That's a fail. No revenue, no clicks, no relationship. Every relationship starts with a click. No clicks, no revenue, no data, no relationship. underperforming, right? So segmentation can't just survive alone. You have to have personalization. I then also want to dive into a missed opportunity I see here. And I'm going to use an example from a brand that I see in my inbox all the time. I'm browsing them. I'm looking at what they're doing. I have probably in my inbox, I have about 10,000 brands I've signed up for their email lists. And BlendJet does a great job on their design. A+, love their design. Great, gorgeous to look at. Here's where the missed opportunity comes in, right? I have, if you see back in the day, highlighted at the very bottom with the arrows, I have abandoned my cart, maybe a couple months ago. But they haven't taken that data into account into their personalization going forward, into their segmentation and personalization. So what did I get? I got 2 emails on the right here. One of them was accessorize your BlendJet, which I never bought a BlendJet, so why would I accessorize it? I don't know why I would get that email. And then I have National Take the Stairs Day, where National Take the Stairs Day has 0 to do with what I was browsing or carting. There's not even my color in there, right? So that's a great example of a missed opportunity. They're not rolling out the right strategy to the people on their list. Now, maybe they have a different strategy. They want to brand it. I've seen that too. Maybe not as good on the personalization side, but maybe they have a different strategy. But for me, as a customer, as a subscriber on their list, this isn't as personalized to me as it should be. That's a missed opportunity. So if I use my strategy, segmentation, personalization, automation, and multiplication, you'll see that this brand should be sending more messages based on my activity. You should also suppress me from non-relevant emails. Focus on personalization. You see right here, this is what I was browsing in my cart, that pink BlendJet right there. So focus around that. This is my cart abandoned on the right. For some reason in my cart abandoned, I have a back to school sale. Nothing to do with the item in my cart, which is all the way down at the bottom, okay? So the personalization was lacking too. Automation, maybe they triggered personalized messages, but well, I got the back to school sale as the highest priority over the item I was interested in. That's called not really listening. And then they made up campaigns, right? National Take the Stairs Day has 0 to do with me. They don't even know if I like taking stairs. I barely get my steps in. I really think I'm going to take the stairs. So, and then multiplication. Are you doing this for SMS? Are we personalizing for omnichannel? So that's a great example of what I would say a missed opportunity. Again, maybe they have a different strategy, right? They have a different approach. They have gorgeous design. Don't get me wrong. But what will trump design 10 times out of 10 is segmentation and personalization all the time. I've done it 10 times out of 10. So the goal for you as a brand is to break free from the mindset of great design, great copy, just sending great looking emails, and focus instead on building one-to-one relationships with your customers through segmentation, personalization, automation, and multiplication. And that will lead to more money, better relationships, lifetime customers, and more time for you. Okay. I can't imagine. I was VP and I'm looking at these great designs and I say to myself, oh man, I can't imagine the amount of work hours that went into this. And to have so much work hours go into an email that maybe is not personalized at all to the customer, what a waste. What a waste. That's a waste of resources. You can send a better email that's personalized to the customer. It'll make more, and it'll save you time. So that's an example of missed opportunities. And that's why I want you to rethink everything you thought you knew about email and SMS. And we're going to do this on this strategy. In order to really apply this strategy to your brand, I'm going to use a use case. And this use case, my brown shoes example, it's been quoted by Jimmy King from SendLane. I've seen Chase Diamond use it in his email stats. So brands are kind of paying attention to what we're saying, to what I'm teaching them, to let them know that there's a better way to do email and SMS. They're finally listening and internalizing what the 10-figure strategies look like. So I'm excited to see this implemented at your brand, right? So I'm going to use a use case, and that's going to kind of paint the entire strategy and put it into action. And then you're going to apply it to yourself, right? I have some action items here for you to implement. So number one, let's take the use case. The use case is, let's pretend I'm a men's fashion e-commerce brand, and I sell suits, shirts, shoes, socks, and dress apparel. All this data will come in handy in a second. I want to sell this new brown shoe that just arrived in my door, okay? Just got it from China, Taiwan, US, whatever it is. I want to sell this new brown shoe. And on top of it, I can provide a discount of 10% off as well. All these areas, all these bullet points will come in very handy in a second, and you'll see why, okay? we're going to use this to implement our 10-figure email strategy. You can now create your own, okay? Take the time now, jot it down, and say, I'm a X brand, in this case, electronics brand, beauty brand, wherever it is. I sell headphones, soaps, apparel, jewelry, whatever it is. I want to sell this new style, and I could provide 10% off, 50% off, free points, whatever it may be. Create your own use case to go along with this strategy. It will be really important for you, okay? You can apply it right there. So we have our use case, and now you're going to create your own. So let's get into the pillar number one of our 10-figure email and SMS strategy, segmentation, okay? Segmentation is at the pinnacle, the start of this strategy. And my first point is go beyond your entry-level segments, right? If you are using Klaviyo or OmniSend, they'll give you some segments to start with, right? Your 30-day engaged, your non-buyers, your buyers, your VIP buyers. Okay, that's all nice and well. This is going to help you go beyond it, think beyond what you are currently doing just as from an engagement point of view, right? So before you were maybe batch and blasting to your full list, maybe doing some entry-level segments, right? That 30-day engaged. Now we're going to start thinking a little more hyper-segmented, have a better approach to it. And the goal of it is to make sure we build out segments that will allow us to have better personalization. Find the 80-20 segments that will actually move the needle. And because we're sending to smaller segments, reduce our costs, okay? So 3 goals from segmentation. So let's give some examples of some sample segments that we could build out for our brown shoes use case. You see those brown shoes right there, okay? Sample segments that you could be building out are people who are browsing shoes, right? That's a pretty simple example. You could also be shoe buyers over the last 90 days, right? Maybe they bought a pair of brown shoes or black shoes or green shoes, and they're in the market for shoes, right? Maybe they want a different pair for different outfits. You can also, because remember our use case told us that this brand also sells suits, we could build out blue suit buyers, right? Let's send this email about the new shoes to blue suit buyers, okay? Maybe you have monk strap buyers, people who didn't buy an Oxford but bought a monk strap. Maybe they want the Oxfords. So you're kind of breaking down different segments, right? Black Oxford shoe buyers, right? And then you go more advanced from there. Maybe you want to break out, if you can find the data and make it happen, which you should have in your ESP. If you don't have it, look at your data. I guarantee you have it. Full price versus discount. Who's paying full price? Who's only shopping on a discount, right? With a coupon code, right? You can break it out. You can also find an Oxford affinity, people who are viewing, browsing, searching, carded, place an order for an Oxford shoe. That's called an affinity group. You can also look at predicted lifetime value. Which of your buyers are predicted to spend money with you in the next 20 days, next 2 hours, next 7 days. On top of that, you can also do some what we call RFM modeling, which is recency, frequency, monetary modeling. A little more advanced. Not going to go too deep into that, but the point is you have new different segments that you can build out to rethink that batch and blast approach, right? So we're doing segmentation, going deep into your segments, okay? What it should look like now is this. You have multiple segments, and each segment equals one touch, one email, okay? So I'm going to send an email to brown shoe buyers over 90 days. Then I'm going to send an email to browsing shoes. Then I'm going to send an email to the engaged population. Then I'm going to send an email to blue suit buyers. Now, is it time consuming? Yes, to start. You got to get started somewhere. Can it be done? Is it very data driven? Oh yeah. You're going to see that you're going to find your 80-20 segments. Over time, you will start realizing, I don't really need to send this email to all these people anymore. I can just send to this one segment and I'm making 80% of my revenue. Okay. That's segmentation. So what you want to build out are segments that are related to the product you're selling, and each segment will get a separate campaign. Okay. That's the start of segmentation using our 10-figure email and SMS strategy. So put it into action now. Pull up your exact use case scenario, write down all your possible segmentation options, start building out each segment within your ESP, okay? And then mark down the total mail base and send volume for them. There's gonna be crossover, right? If I'm a brown shoe buyer and also a blue suit buyer, there's gonna be crossover. So that's why you wanna mark down the total and verify how many you're sending to, right? The one thing I don't want you to do is come out of this and say, you know what? I sent this email and I got 10 people out of my 1 million member email list, right? You don't want that. You want to say that you send it to a really actionable population. And if you see that the list is only 10 people, you may say, it's not even worth it. When I'm going to send to that one, focus on the other segments. So put into action, do these 4 steps to excel in the segmentation pillar of our strategy. Step number 2, pillar number 2 of our 10-figure email SMS strategy is personalization. Okay. Personalization is freaking hard. I'm going to get to it in a second. But here's what you did before, right? Before, most brands would pop out this 10% off shoe and say something like get early access plus 10% off our most in-demand Oxfords, perfect for work, home, and any time in between. Nice, cute, boring, right? Same old. Who doesn't do that? And you would send it out to all those segments, like you saw that other agency doing, right? That other brand was doing that same thing, stacking all your segments into one campaign, calling it a day. Okay, you could do that. Just will spend a lot more money than you're prepared to spend, and you won't make as much as you thought you were making. After the strategy, you're going to send different campaigns to each segment that's relevant. That's personalization, right? You want to send different campaigns, different styles, different designs to your audience to make sure there's max impact. That's the goal of it, right? Not just that one-to-many email, but one-to-one relationships, right? One-to-many means one email to everyone. One-to-one is connecting to that person behind the inbox. That's really what you want to do, right? We all know the phrase of saying, like, if you try to talk to everyone, you're talking to no one, right? So this is the same philosophy right here. But because personalization is freaking hard, most brands fail here. It's difficult, okay? You got to put in the work. You can do it. You can make it happen, okay? Because if the top brands could do it, you certainly could do it, okay? You have a closer relationship with your customer, so you can easily do this too. But it's hard. Let's be honest. Personalization is hard. Cost sometimes to doing one design, very minimal. Well, why not? Send it out. Sometimes we have to do different copy and different creatives and different segmentation and different personalization and having the right data and right code and everything. It could take some time. Okay, I get it. That's why brands hire us, but it could take time to do that one-to-one design and one-to-one relationship. But I guarantee you, if you put in the effort, you put in the work, you understand, you implement the strategy I'm teaching you right now, your revenue will lift your spirits. It'll make it happen faster than you thought possible, right? So it's difficult, but if you go from that stage of saying, like, batch blast and go to personalization, you will do a lot better, guaranteed. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about the personalization side, right? Where we're talking about what goes into personalization. It says here segmentation actions, but it really is personalization action items, right? What goes into personalization that allows us to say, how do we personalize? A lot of people think personalization is just putting the first name of the person in the subject line. That is like 0.1% of personalization. Personalization is all about knowing your customer data, knowing what data you have coming in, coming out, and actually listening to signals, listening to customers based on their clicks, based on their browsing, carding, searching, everything, their purchases, based on listening to the customer and reacting to what they're telling you. So some types of personalization you may have already, right? Maybe their gender, their language. In this case, we have their shoe size, we have their location, right? We have whether or not they've shipped items or picked it up in store. We can have rewards or loyalty data coming in. That's great for the types of personalization we have at our fingertips. Most brands just don't use it. They don't use it enough, right? I could come up with a major segment of people who have bought shoes at full price and actually have rewards to spend, so I don't need to give them a discount, right? So there's a lot of things you can use here. From a campaign personalization side, what are you putting into your campaigns? Your copy is personalized. Your tone is personalized. Your creatives are personalized. The links are personalized. The recommendations are personalized. The predictive behavior, the predictive banners, and everything you have in your template, it's all personalized to that segment. That's how you create personalization. Like I said, this is a little harder, but you put in the work, you understand the data coming in, and you're listening to customers through their actions, you will have a ton of personalization data to work with, and you will be really successful. Let's do some examples, right? Let's personalize for one segment right now. Let's personalize for blue suit buyers, okay? These are blue suit buyers, and again, you have this 10% off image here. You have the shoes, Okay, generally you would send that, right? But I'm talking to blue suit buyers now. I want to talk to them on a one-to-one level. So let's give some examples. And these are mock-up designs. Don't take these designs as like literal. This is just illustrative to say, here's how you should be thinking about it, right? So let's take a blue suit segment right here. And from the top down, we're personalizing everything. They're personalizing their entire experience within the email. Okay, so here's one. Subject line, two great designs right here. You have clearly, you have a person wearing a blue suit, right? You're blue all over this email, right? And you have this message that says new arrival, just in, the perfect shoe for blue suit lovers, okay? You're personalizing the subject line straight away. Another one, your blue suit's latest accessory is now on sale. Another great example, personalization. Your copy is written for blue suit buyers. You're addressing their needs and wants. You want to get that outfit. This will complete your look, right? The designs clearly are showing someone in a blue suit. It connects already, right? You're adding in maybe user-generated content, such as reviews from a blue suit buyer or from influencers who are stylish and wearing suits all the time, right? Someone in Wall Street or wherever. And on top of that, you're adding in some recommendations into the bottom of your email, maybe different sizes based on what they have bought in the past, or different, we're talking about brown shoes, maybe show different Oxford options in case they're not interested in the other one. Right? You also can add in different additional options that are personalized to the user. Maybe they have rewards, or maybe there's a store near them where they could pick up at the store that's literally 2 miles from them. All this is personalization, the top down. So as you can see, subject lines, copy, design, user-generated content, recommendations, and anything additional, all personalized to the user, right? That's the beauty of it, all personalized to the blue suit buyer. Do you see where we're getting at now, right? Segmentation, personalization. Let's add in another one. Oh, I want to make one note here before you look at this. No mention of 10% off. Well, actually, there was one mention of 10% off right there. That's wrong. But I'm going to show you an example where there's no mention of it at all. Now, this is it, right? Let's personalize for full price versus discount, right? If I have a buyer who's willing to pay full price, you have that Mr. Moneybags over here, and you have a buyer who only buys on discount, well, why would I send a discount to the person who pays full price? Why would I do that? Why do you need to? But people take that batch and blast approach and they do segmentation. They send the same message to everyone. Let's think differently here, right? So full price buyers, they will get a different approach. No mention of 10% off because they'll pay full price, right? Top down, personalized to that segment, full price buyers, new arrival, the perfect Oxford shoe, first look, your new favorite Oxford. The copywriting is written without discounts or offers. We're addressing their needs and wants as a full price buyer. Be the stylish trendsetter or whatever it may be. No offers, no discounts, relevant reviews, again, dynamic recommendations that are fit based on what they've bought in the past because they are a full price buyer. Remember, buyer, that's keyword. And earn an additional 2 extra rewards on your purchase, maybe something that's not giving them money up front, or pick up at a store near you, right? So we're now personalizing it out to full price buyers. And the key part here is, because it's personalized, there's no discount. We don't need to give them one. They're willing to pay full price. Let's look at the discount buyers now. Different creative, different approach, different copy, different tone, different look, different feel. The subject line is our newest Oxford's best feature, 10% off, right? They are driven by discounts. They want a discount in order to make a purchase. So let's address that. Let's bring it to the front. 10% off, big and proud right at the very top. Copy is written highlighting the discount right there. Get early access plus 10% off our most in-demand Oxfords. Design plays up your offers and discounts. The products underneath it show deals you may love. Look at those products, right? That header, deals you may also love. User-generated content talks all about deals, discount-based maybe, right? I found this on a great price, the best deal I ever had. Whatever it may be, it's talking to the deal hunter, to the discount buyer, okay? And then on top of that, you can save even more when you use your rewards or pick up at a store near you, right? So save money on that. You see how different segmentation and personalization goes hand in hand. At the end of the day, this is what your campaigns are now looking like. Different segments, personalized messages, right person, right message. That's the point. That's how you scale. That's how you grow, okay? Each message talks to each segment correctly. You have the blue suit buyers seeing the shoe related to them. You have the discount buyer seeing the deal on the shoe related to them, and you have the full price buyer with the new arrival related to them. Okay, segmentation and personalization at its finest. Like I said, personalization is hard. It can be tough, but if you get it, this is the 10-figure email and SMS strategy. This works for SMS as well. So now, action items. Pull up your exact use case scenario. Okay, write down all your personalization options. What data is coming in that you can use right now to personalize? Use it, learn from it. Pair each personalization option with each segment. Okay, here's one great example. You have someone who buys in-store or online. Let's say you have a store, in-store and online, right? Well, your in-store people who are local to your store will get a different experience than your people who just buy online, right? And need shipping. Different offers, different messages. That's a really quick, easy one. So start segmenting out that way. And then finally, again, a little bit harder to implement, but you can do it with the right team. Well, again, this is why we do it for brands, because it's hard for them. We do it pretty seamlessly. Have your design, copy, and execution team create different versions, different touches, different campaigns, different emails for every single segment. That's the beauty behind it. So we solved the personalization pillar of our 10-figure email and SMS strategy. Now, as I said before, this works really well, those two, right? But if you do this for every single campaign, you'll eventually get stuck in the weeds. Your day will be shot, right? This is great for campaigns, and we do this for brands, like, again, 7-figure to 10-figure brands all the time. But what we know is that the magic behind it is when you automate it too. So we want to take our day-to-day winners, automate those winners, and bring it into an automation. And then we're talking 24/7, 365 revenue, right? So automation to many people means that you're sending a trigger, a marketing automation. You're sending another email at the, again, right time, right? That's what we want to focus on. We're sending out automation, but right time isn't just like the right time of day. That's another misconception brands have. Right time means right time of day. That's it. Okay, we'll send it 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. The right time of day. Wrong. Right time means right time in their buying cycle. And so you as a brand need to listen for those timing indicators. You need to stop guessing and start listening. Don't be that dog that has the headphones over the ear right there, right? You need to be the woman with their ear, right? Listening to them. So right time, for some, it can mean right time of day, right? AM, PM, East Coast, West Coast. But for many people, it's right time of interest, such as 30 minutes after I abandon my cart, that's the right time to send it. Or an hour after they browse abandon, that's the right time to send it. 2 hours after site visit, that's the right time to send it, right? So right time of interest is a really important element to take into account. There's also right time in their buying cycle, such as what upsell, cross-sell, replenishment times. If I just bought an item, I need to replenish it in 3 months or 60 days. That's the right time in my buying cycle. So knowing these right times is really what matters. And then you can also use predictive and AI to predict when the right time, such as if they come back to the site after 60 days, for them, that's the right time. You may have not seen that, but they are coming back at the site. So we're predicting that they're in the market to buy. That's a little bit more advanced, but it just gives you an idea about the type of examples to think beyond right time of day. And you can trigger off automations based on that right time messaging, okay? If you don't know, just ask. You can create an SMS survey, say, hey, when are you looking to buy again? When's the right time that you're looking to replenish? You can ask your customers. SMS does this really well. Before you automate, though, before you automate your segmented and personalized campaigns, you need to take this prerequisite step, right? You need to find the winners, right? So what I usually do with our 10-figure strategy, we run the campaign out multiple times. So for this new shoe arrival, I would run it out a few times, 4 to 8 times, okay? Prove the concept. You also want to test out which creatives, which copy, which style works best, right? Find out what's working best. And you also want to find the top segment to automate, right? Which is the best segment that we should be sending an automation to? And once you identify your top performers, such as what are the best segments, what are the best subject lines, what's the best copy and creatives, what's the best conversion, best converting campaign, you then found your winner. And once you find your winner, then we're going to turn that winner into an automation and break free from the day-to-day manual campaign overload. We all want to break free from the manual campaigns, right? no time in the day, right? One of our clients said, unimaginable time constraints. No one has time left in the day to do that. Imagine if you were stuck in the weeds doing this day after day. You need to automate it. So map out your automation now with your high performer. I'm going to take two examples right here of our blue suit buyers and people who are browsing brown shoes. Okay. Two segments, personalized creatives, personalized messaging, and now we're going to automate it. This is a lot more simple to understand now that you're looking at the workflow, right? So for example, for my blue suit buyers, what I would do is identify them at time of purchase. I'd set a wait period, right? We set our identification, which is our trigger. We set our wait period, such as wait 30 days after purchase. We then send a decision stage, which is decide, did they buy again or did they not? If they did not, we will move to the next step, send them an email, and we send them that personalized creative that we know was a winner at the campaign level, right? It's the same creative you see right here, right? All personalized to the user. And then we do that final step, such as repeat. Do we check? Do we send again? Do we wait more time? Did they convert? Do we try SMS? So that's the workflow for the blue suit buyer. So the goal for this, and you could build out this workflow however you feel comfortable doing it. The mindset here is about taking off our day-to-day campaigns that we're obsessing over every day. We're trying to fill a calendar or make up a calendar, and we're breaking free from that campaign mindset and turning it into an automation. 10-figure email SMS strategy, not a 5-figure email strategy, right? 10 figures. So if they converted, end the automation. If not, you could either do a resend or use SMS or whatever you want to do for that. That's the blue suit buyer. Now let's talk about brown shoes. If they're browsing blue shoes, right? Really brown shoes, not necessarily blue shoes there, but browsing brown shoes, okay? Same setup, same workflow, but this time the time is different, right? So I'm going to identify and listen to a trigger. I'm going to see who is browsing the shoes right now. I'm going to wait 24 hours after they browse, make a decision. Did they browse and just browse, or did they add to cart? If they add to cart, turn off the automation, let cart abandon run. If they bought the item, we'll turn off the automation, let the upsell run later, right? But if they did not do any of that, we'll browse, abandon, will then kick in. And I will take my personalized creative that I've proven out at the campaign level, which is what campaigns really are there for. I'm going to launch it to that user, okay? Higher open rates, higher click rates, higher conversion rate. And then once again, do the repeat phase, right? Did they buy? Did they cart? Did they, unsubscribe, whatever it may be? And then you end the automation, or you do a resend or a retouch, or you send to SMS, whatever you want to do. This is how you create automation using your high-performing campaigns. So we have segmentation, personalization, and now automation. We've automated the process. So that's stage 3, pillar 3 of our 10-figure email SMS strategy. So what I want you to do and put in action is launch and test and find your campaign winners. Find the winning campaigns that you've launched that are segmented and personalized. Write down who to include and exclude in the automation, right? Who gets this email? Who doesn't? If they bought again in 30 days, don't get the email. If they didn't buy, get the email, right? And identify your triggers, actions, wait periods, and endpoints, right? What's going to trigger this automation? What's going to take the action? How long am I waiting for? And these are areas where you can test, right? Wait 30 days for the blue suit buyer, maybe wait 14 days for the blue suit buyer. Test that out. You can test that automation level, and then start setting up a simple flow, right? A workflow in your ESP. Very simple to create, a basic one. Start basic, but know that you're segmenting and personalizing before you set that up. That's automation, okay? You've now excelled in the automation phase of this 10-figure email SMS strategy. The final pillar in our strategy, again, we're trying to keep to an hour, right? There's so much more to dive into, which is why I recommend you get the book, get the masterclass, dive into it in more depth. The fourth pillar is multiplication. This is now where we say, okay, we've sent campaigns, we find the winners, we've segmented and personalized, we've automated on top of that. But how do I scale it further, right? What's next? Do I just have a bunch of automations running? Here's where multiplication comes in. You can multiply that winning automation that I'm doing for brown shoes right there and multiply it for belts, or multiply it for ties, or multiply it for gift cards, and multiply the process that will allow you to scale, right? Imagine one automation is working for your product and you have a SKU library of 1,000 products. Imagine how your business would change knowing you have multiple automations running for your highest performing products, right? Imagine how automated your process would be. Orders coming in all the time, and you'd be like sitting back doing nothing. That's multiplication. But it's not just about products. It's also about goals or channels, right? You can multiply this product up for different goals, such as cross-sell or upsell. Or let's say, a great example, let's say I'm running a cart abandonment automation, and I want to multiply that up for SMS and have Facebooking involved and retargeting from Google. That's multiplying by channel, right? So there's different ways of interpreting the multiplication. So it really depends on your brand. What I found success in, start with multiplying for products, then add on channels, then add in goals. So if it's a little deep, you can always email me, isaac@hiflyerdigital.com. More than happy to share some ideas with you. I'll go into a few examples right now, though. Here's an example where we took our brown shoes automation and I've multiplied it up for black shoes. Very simple. What's my process? Find the right person, right? Do that right segment again, right? Find the right message. What messaging will work best for them? Again, these are just mock-ups. Find the right time. Build out your automation to find the right time where they will buy more. And then multiply it up for a different type of shoe. That's it. Multiply for black shoes. Very simple. I'm selling pea coats too, right? You can multiply this up for pea coats. Same process. Find your right person. In this case, a white beige turtleneck buyer. Maybe looks a little like me. Send my pea coat creative that I have proven out has performed really well for this type of segment. Create your automation around those two elements and then multiply it, right? That's it. And now you have 3 high-performing automations that you've proven out at the campaign level, and you're multiplying your business, right? You're multiplying the touches. It's going to work seamlessly for you. Again, this is the 10-figure email and SMS strategy. This is how the top brands are running it. That's for the product level. I want to also dive into how to multiply up by channel. I get asked this a lot because this is one of the most advanced cart abandons you'll ever find, okay? Most brands send a cart abandon, standard cart abandon, send 1 email, send 1 SMS, we're done. Cart abandon, we're done. Using multiplication, the top brands end up communicating their cart abandons across 5 or 6 channels, right? Here's how they do it. Send 1 email, right? And send a cart abandon email. If they engage with it, send 2 more or 3 more, whatever it is. If they don't engage with email, go to SMS, send them an SMS cart abandon. If they don't engage with SMS, send that subscriber over to Facebook. Run an ad to them. They're a high performing prospect, right? They could buy a lot. We want to get them as many channels as we can. They're almost at the finish line. Send that lead over to Facebook. You can even send that lead over to Google. And on top of that, because SMS is a phone number, you can also send that lead to customer service to give them a call. Okay, 5 channels, 1 automation. That's multiplying by channel. Okay, that's how you run an advanced cart abandon using multiplication, using my strategy right here. Okay, before you thought of sending an email, right? No, you're going to do it for 5 channels because you can. You just have to have the infrastructure and setup ready to do. But there's an easy way to do that. I won't say it's easy, but you can easily create this mindset and start implementing tactics to go with the strategy. I have all the tactics to implement this strategy right here. So that's how you multiply by channel. And then another last example here for multiplication is multiply by goals, okay? Most people have their basic post-purchase flow, right? And they're running out, you place an order, you get a thank you for your order, join us on social, upsell, cross-sell, leave a review, right? Okay, all nice and well. But what you do want to do is multiply it out for someone who bought twice, someone who bought 3 times, someone who bought 10 times, have a different experience for them. That's multiplication by goals. I want to get, my goal for the 1-time buyer is to get them to buy twice. That's my only goal. My goal for the 2-time buyer is maybe for them to leave a review and advocate for me. My goal for the 3-time buyers is to maybe leave a video review, whatever it may be. I have different goals for different types of buyers. I'll give another great example. This is one I ran at the top ends also. Let's say I bought a product, but we found that out of, let's say, 10,000 buyers, our best, most valuable customers were the customers who bought a Sony product, a Sony camera, just an example. So we built out a separate workflow for people who bought Sony cameras because we had the bones of it, the infrastructure for that post-purchase. Now we're multiplying it up for Sony camera buyers and having a little bit of a different experience, right? different blog, different content, different reviews, different whatever it may be. So it's all related to the Sony camera buyer, because we saw that if we multiply it up that way, it will be a better experience for them, better experience for the customer, better relationships, more revenue. Okay, massive win. That's all part of my post-purchase hourglass strategy, which is a separate webinar. You can find it on YouTube. We'll go into that later in the year as well. That's multiplying by goals. So we multiplied by product, multiplied by channel, and we multiply by goals. Segmentation, personalization, automation, multiplication. That's the 10-figure email and SMS strategy right there, okay? Proven framework, zero guesswork anymore. I've run this out at the 9 and 10-figure brands, proven it out. If it works for them, it works for you, right? It works for your brand. And usually this is 7 and 8-figure brands that are watching this webinar. It will work for your brand, okay? Segmentation, find the right person. Personalization, send the right message. Automation at the right time in their buying cycle. And multiplication, repeat and scale. That's the 10-figure email SMS strategy. You won't find this anywhere else, okay? Because that came from, I won't say it came from my brain, but it came from seasoned doing this at the top brands over and over and seeing a pattern, a consistent replicable pattern, if that's how you say it, at the top brands. That's all good and well, Isaac, right? All nice, but let's see some results. Let's see how this actually played out. So I'm going to show you results for 7-figure brands, 8-figure, 9, and 10-figure success stories to show you that it's literally duplicative across any type of brand out there, okay? So let's dive right in. I'm going to start with one just as a, again, fake creatives, but I want to kind of illustrate the point here, okay? Here's one example where this brand used to send out a one-day sale to their list, to their full list right there, right? I won't say the full list, but maybe their most engaged population, 617,000 recipients, and it made $109,000 in sales. That's the creative on the left, okay? One-day sale, VIP one-day sale. Nice, I'm a VIP, I get this email, okay. We sent it out to a lot more people than just that. But anyway, great email. Now, using my strategy and using my design copy, which I call my C4 design playbook process, we segmented, personalized this campaign, right? So we broke out our buyers. We broke out our VIP people. We broke them into people who are Canon buyers, Nikon buyers, Apple buyers, people who are browsing this product, people who are browsing that product. We've split it out, right? That's that personalization stage right here. And we personalize top down, Canon one-day sale, Sony one-day sale, Apple one-day sale, right? And top down, the link was personalized, recommendations, creative, everything. I'm just showing the creatives right now. We sent that out after we deduped the entire list, after we saw how much was crossover or not. It ended up being 288,000 emails, 50% fewer people. Panic mode, 50% fewer people. We're not going to make enough money, right? We're not going to get our bonus, right? It actually made 70% more revenue, okay, because of the segmentation and personalization. Fewer sends, more money. I'm saving money too, because I'm not sending as many from my ESP, right? No bill at the end of the month. That's the power of this strategy. What did we do next? We automated it and multiplied it up to do it for multiple different campaigns. That's a 10-figure email and SMS strategy right there, okay? It works. 10 times out of 10, it works. This is a 7-figure gifting brand. Implemented this strategy. Year over year, 318% revenue growth. Went from $77,000 in revenue, according to Google Analytics even. Google Analytics, not even Klaviyo. Google Analytics, they netted out year-end $323,000 from email alone. Okay, email ended up becoming, I have a case study for this. Email ended up being their fastest growing revenue stream of the year, and they thought email was dead. Fastest growing revenue stream, 380% revenue growth year over year. 361% growth in orders. Look at that, 500 orders compared to 2,500 the next year. Imagine what your business would be like with that. And that client grows every year. I'm fast forwarding to 2023. That client grows by 30 to 50% every year with a new strategy, right? The same strategy improved, constantly improving, right? That's really what we want to do. We don't just want to run it out once and say, we're good. You constantly refine it and tweak it, right? That's the beauty of it. And again, barely sent any more emails that year. Still revenue grew. $2 billion retailer. Great example right here. This $2 billion retailer, 10-figure brand, needed a 10-figure email and SMS strategy. Went from 10 million to 29 million in 12 months. Okay. That's $20 million gained. That is game changing. That is equivalent of 100 small brands, right? They were at 6% of revenue from email. They went to 14% of revenue from email in 1 year, gained $20 million from their program because of this strategy. Okay, that's how you scale to the next level. Then I have an 8-figure biking and outdoor brand, tripled sales in just 90 days. They were starting out with $112,000 in revenue in February. We came in March and said, let's get moving with our 10-figure strategy. They doubled in the first month from 112 to 240 the first month. By May, they were at $354,000 in revenue. They tripled their sales from 112 to 354,000 in 90 days. Okay, that's the impact of the strategy we have. It's a 10-figure strategy, and it works over and over for multiple brands. And finally, our 9-figure brand, I think this is the final one, 9-figure brand right here. You can see that's the one example I use a lot. They went from $47 million in revenue to $73 million, and I did it in 8 months. Okay, because of this strategy, we were able to do it in 8 months, and the rest of the year we kind of took off. But 8 months we did it. And here's the kicker. I'm outlining this right here. Look at how many emails we sent. We sent about 12% fewer emails, which again, they made money and they saved money. Imagine how your business would change if you could do that. Make money while saving money. Okay? That offsets any cost we have, for hiring our agency, and it just helps their business grow. But most importantly, it helps them build a better relationship with their customers. Most important part. Like I said, our strategy works for $1 million brands to $1 billion e-commerce brands. Tons of case studies right here. Not going to go too deep into the words, but this just gives you an idea of the power of the strategy, the power sitting on your list right now that's probably not being tapped into. I would probably almost guarantee you it's not being tapped into. And it's not going to be tapped into by better creatives, better copy, tactics. You need the strategy first. Implement the strategy. Tactics will come next. So, awesome. We covered our 10-figure email SMS strategy. It's a little over time for our 60 minutes, but that's okay. We have some good takeaways here. I'm sure you're excited to implement this right away. I want to make sure that I kept my promise, right? Promises made, promises kept. I've shown you how to triple your sales with my 4-step 10-figure email SMS strategy. You've learned 4 stages of great email and SMS. You've seen a use case in action. You've applied it for your brand too. You've seen firsthand case studies of the results. You've connected. You're learning how to connect with a customer behind the inbox. You've refocused on sending better emails, not more emails, and thereby cutting your costs. And straight in the middle, you can see how segmentation and personalization leads to more lifetime value because they want to stay on your list. They like hearing from you because you're personalizing it, and which means more profits. And then finally, promise number 3, you got back more time in your day by automating and multiplying it up. Okay, you learn how to break free from the campaign hamster wheel. Break free from the obsessing over copy and creatives and gorgeous emails like the other brands, right? You're freeing more time by automating and multiplying, and you've leveled up email SMS to a whole new level that you never thought possible, right? You've rethought it. You've rethought how email and SMS should work, okay? And I know I haven't dove into SMS side as much. That's a whole separate webinar that I'm going to dive into, but it's the same strategy, right? Segmentation, personalization, automation, multiplication, same thing. And you've leveled up to a whole new program. Now, as promised, I know in the last 10 minutes, I want to give you this offer and this amazing stuff that you should implement right away, all free for qualified e-commerce brands. So let's jump right into it. 2 10-figure offers right here. I'm giving this on this webinar right now, $1,500 value free. You book my 10-figure email plan. We work together on your 10-figure, on implementing my 10-figure email strategy for your brand. You'll instantly get my 10-figure SMS plan absolutely free. I will implement it for you for free. 2 channels, 1 price, 2 10-figure email strategies, 10-figure strategies for you that will help your business scale 300%. Like I showed you in those stats, 300% here, 403% here, 6 million to 20 million. It works time and time again because of the strategy. So if you book that, you could just go to HiFlyerDigital.com/book. We'll get implementing right away. 2 channels for the price of 1, both proven 10-figure plans. I'm going to keep this on this webinar for now. Go to HiFlyerDigital.com/book. Get it moving before we fill up. I cannot keep this offer open forever. My team would kill me. And the beauty of doing SMS right now is this, right? It is a massive, fastest growing channel right now, 2024. I was skeptical at first, but I got convinced to start the year. This 8-figure beauty brand started 2024 with SMS. They were already up 3,000%. Okay, 3,000% year over year. And I only compare year over year because you got to compare it apples to apples. 3,000% up year over year, and their overall website revenue grew by 639%. I'm not talking small numbers here. This strategy works, gets you growing by triple digits. Okay, so that helped them get to the next level, all because of SMS, all because of our 10-figure SMS strategy, which I apply to SMS specifically. If you want results like that, then make it happen. And as promised, you will get all this for free. Okay, go to HiFlyerDigital.com/book, book an appointment. Let's get moving on it. I'll show you exactly how we apply it to your brand. I'll create an ROI calculator that shows you what your projection is like, and you'll get all this for free, all this swag. But let's be honest, you're going to look at all this content. You're going to be, whoa, all this content is amazing. I'm going to start going through it. 1 year later, you're not going to implement it. I will implement it in days, minutes. That's the key part. So once again, you could scan that code. I believe it goes to the HiFlyerDigital.com/book. If not, there's definitely a Calendly link on there. You can book a call. Book my done for you 10-figure email plan. You'll get my done for you 10-figure SMS plan absolutely free, right? We will do it. We will work it for you for as long as we're doing email, right? So it's a good combo. It's a good combination of 2 channels that will get you up and running really quickly. So book your call now. Get your SMS for free. Thank you for joining. I'm really excited you learned this 10-figure strategy. It works. It will change the way you do email. No more obsessing over campaigns, no more obsessing over calendar, no more obsessing over creatives and copy and all this stuff that really doesn't move the needle as much as connecting with the person behind the inbox, the building relationship with the person behind the inbox. That's really what matters. If you do that right, you will never want for money. You'll be profitable, predictable, sustainable revenue 24/7, 365 using this strategy. Okay, really hope you get a lot of value out of this. Really hope you learned a lot and rethought everything you think you know about email and SMS. I've done this at the top brands. I'm here to gift it to you, level the playing field, and I'm really excited to see what you can create next. I'm probably on your email list, so I'm looking at you and keeping an eye on it. Book your call now. Get SMS for free. 2 channels, email and SMS, 1 for free. Let's keep moving and win 2024 in days. Thanks for joining.